Okay, this is section 4.3, and this is your example questions. After giving the notes, you're working on these questions to try and practice your skills of how to solve a question with mental math as well as calculator math, or as we say here, mental thinking and calculator pressing. So our first question says 220% of $40. Now we learned in our mental math that 200%, how do we get 200% of a number? We double it. So 200% would be doubling the 40, which is $80. 10%, you move the decimal one spot, sorry, that's the wrong percentage. You move the decimal one spot over, would be $4. And therefore 20% would be doubling that $4, which is 8. And therefore $80 plus $8 would mean that 220% is $88. Right? You would just simply add your 200% and your 20% together to get $88. For your calculator, since 220% is 220 over 100, or 2 20/100ths, then 220% as a decimal is 2 20/100ths. Why do I need the extra zero there? No, it's insignificant. So 220%, let me just move this down a bit here. Oh, not that. $220% of $80 would be 2.20 of $80, and if I use the calculator, hopefully it becomes 88 bucks. So 220% of $80 is, oh, I made a mistake. Where did I make a mistake? Did I press the wrong buttons? Let's try that again. So it's 220% of $40, not $80, which is 88. There you go. It's supposed to be $40 here. Yeah. Okay, 88 bucks. Our next question says 55 3/10% of $60. So mentally, Calvin, what's the first thing I want to find? And 50% is how much? Which is 30 bucks. Next one I want to find out is 10%, which is, move the decimal over, $6. 5% is half of that, which is $3. Running out of space here. 0.1%, we move it 3 times, so once, twice, 3 times, is 6 cents, which was a great movie starring Bruce Willis. And therefore 0.3%, whew, is 18 cents. There's a lot of thinking going on here. 3 times this, right? If 0.1% is 6 cents, then 0.3% would be 18 cents, or tripling it. So the numbers we're going to use here, we need our 50% plus our 5%, that's 55%, plus our 0.3%. If we put all those together, we get $33.18. Is that the correct answer? I hope so. Sometimes I screw up. So our answer for mental math is $33.18. 55 3/10% is 55 3/10%. Right? Notice how I changed the fraction to a decimal. So 55 3/10% is 55.38 of 100. Can't have decimals in my fraction. So I'm going to multiply it out by making an equivalent fraction. I'm multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 10. 553 thousandths is 0.553. That's 55 3/10% of $60. This will be exciting if it's 33.18. Even though I know the answer is going to be correct, it's always exciting to see it come up. $33.18. 33.18. Last one. And then finally, our last question says 3/5%. And this was a tricky one, because what you needed to do if you were using mental math is we only know 200% in our mental math. We know 0.5% in our mental math, and we know 0.1% in our mental math. And 3/5% is actually the same thing as 0.6%, because if we change that fraction to a decimal, it's that. Or if I change it to an equivalent fraction, it's 0.6%. And that's really what we wanted to say. So our starting point is really thinking about that question as being this one instead. And it becomes real easy. Because mentally, if I think about 0.5% plus 0.1%, those two added together, which we know how to get both of those, will be 0.6%, correct? So 0.5%, before we get that, we need to know 1%, don't we? And what's 1% of $280? $2.80. And once we know that, what's 0.5%? Avery, what's 0.5% of 1% is 280? $1.40. And for 0.1%, we want to move our decimal 3 places. So 0.1% is 28 cents. So the two I'm going to add together, 0.5% and 0.1% make 0.6%. And since 0.6% is the same thing as 0.75%, because they're the same number, because there's the equivalent fraction up there. We add those together, we end up with 0.6%, or more appropriately, 0.75% is therefore equal to $1.68. Make sense? Yeah, does that make sense? Wyatt Earp, make sense? Now, here's gets the confusing part. I can't use this one, and I can't use this one if I'm going to make it into a percent, or into a fraction, or into a decimal, I mean. But I can use this one, because 0.6% is 0.6 of 100, right? That's 0.6%, because all percentages are fractions out of 100. As an equivalent fraction with no decimal, it's 0.006, which is 0.006. So when we think about what 0.6% looks like as a decimal, it's 0.006. It's 6,000. So therefore, 0.6%. Let me write the original question. 0.75% of $280 will be 0.006 times 280. I'm so excited. I hope it's $1.68. Decimal 0.006 times 280 is $1.68.